open this meeting with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this point in time, I will open a public hearing regarding state shared revenue and refer to our finance director, Carrie Kurtz.
State shared revenue sharing laws require cities to annually pass a resolution requesting to receive state revenue sharing money and to certify the city meets the requirements. City of Hubbard meets these requirements by providing to the citizens police protection, street construction, maintenance, sanitary and storm sewer, planning, zoning, and subdivision control, and additionally water. State shared revenue is tax collected on cigarette, liquor, and gas purchases as well as potential marijuana sales.
Does anybody have any comments? No? Okay. And the second issue is the budget for fiscal year ending 2017-2018. Carrie, is that you too? Oh, close that one? Okay, sorry. Close the public hearing. Do I have to open another one? Okay, open a public hearing regarding budget for fiscal year 2017-18.
Okay, this is the formal adoption by the City Council of the 2017-2018 budget that was approved by the Budget Committee on May 1st, 2017, and to levy property tax at the permanent rate of $3.9772 per $1,000 of assessed value. The budget is approximately $1.2 million overall more than last year due to a variety of changes throughout the year, including staffing changes due to retirements, an increase in revenue with the completion of the construction of the Greens at Mill Creek subdivision, new commercial construction, and decrease in expenses due to various public works projects that did not come to fruition. That money for the projects will just carry over for next year.
Any public comments? Not hearing any, I will close the public hearing. Do we need to do anything, or I can just reopen
Excuse me, those resolutions for the state shared revenue and the budget for 17-18 are included in the consent agenda.
Okay. Okay, next we have appearance of interested citizens. Would anybody like to speak?
The members of the council, my name is Rick Lewis. I just want to stop by and introduce myself. I'm the district representative for House District 18. You may recall Vic Gilliam was the representative for this district until he had to resign due to illness. So I just wanted to stop in. I was here a couple months ago. We had a really long public hearing that evening. So I'm serving on 3 different committees for the House. I'm on the Veterans and Emergency Preparedness Committee, also on the Economic Development and Trade Committee, and on the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Natural Resources. So we're hearing all the budgets for the state agencies that have a natural resource component to it. So just a couple of things that I might give you an update on. The League Board of the Cities had as one of their top priorities the issue on recreational immunity. That was it had to do with the court decision that happened a year or more ago. I'm not exactly sure when it was, that basically put public employees at risk for being personally sued. Also employees of private entities that deal with recreation. So there is a bill right now in the legislature to remedy that. It passed the House unanimously, or the Senate rather, unanimously, and it's should be coming before the House in the next day or so. For whatever reason, that's been kind of railroaded a couple of times. It gets to the top of the list and then it disappears. But I think within the next couple of days, we should be able to have a vote on that, and it will go to the governor. report on healthcare, other than we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen at the federal level. There are some issues with Medicaid expansion, and there's a committee that's working through that right now to try to resolve whatever issues may arise on healthcare. There's also some issues dealing with PERS. There's a committee that's working on that. So I would guess within the next couple of weeks, we have 4 weeks left in the session. So within the next couple of weeks, we should be hearing something coming to the Senate or to the House on PERS. Education is moving forward with their budget. Right now, recommended $8.2 billion. The educators looking for $8.4 billion, so there's about a $200 million discrepancy there. So we'll see what happens on that. I don't know whether or not additional funds will come forward for education, but we'll see what happens. There are a number of requests for funding. We're still at about a $1.4 billion deficit right now, so working to try to balance that budget. Transportation is probably an issue of importance to the city. A transportation package, there is a committee that's working on that. There's been a great deal of public testimony in the last couple of weeks before that committee on a transportation package. There's still some disagreement on exactly what the end result's going to look like, but I believe that there'll be a package that will pass this session. We'll see if it's before the end of session or if we have to come back for a special session. That's of importance to the cities and counties as well, related to bridges and road repairs and the funds that we can pass down to cities to help with those. So, with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Isn't there another tax that's being put forth for this general election?
Yeah, there's the majority party's proposed a gross receipts tax. The minority party is resisting that right now, so it really is, it appears to be a sales tax in disguise, so we're not, I'm part of the majority, or the minority party is Republican, and we're not supporting that gross receipts tax, so they have to have at least one Republican vote to pass the finance measures, and potentially send it to the voters. So as it stands right now, it's a proposal, but it's not really going anywhere at this point.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming. Thank you.
My name is Missy Lee. My address is 2204 C Street, Hubbard. I'm going to read because I can't stay focused. So, first of all, thank you all for your many hours of service for our city. I know full well how many hours you put in for our city. I have lived in our great city for 26 years and still love living here. I sat in your seats 20 years ago, so I fully know what you are facing and how challenging it is. As I told you before, when I was mayor, we lost all 3 department heads within a 6-month span. One of them is still here, who we hired, Jamie. So it was a challenging time for the council, just as it is now. I do appreciate how difficult this is. I've been at the budget meeting and the last few meetings you have held. I have a few concerns and thoughts I'd like to share. My first concern is the staffing position that the city staff is now going to be experiencing. We are down staff already at the police department and soon to be down staff in the administrative departments. I appreciate all the hard work the finance director did for the 2017 and 18 budget, and that the city recorder has been doing with all the extra meetings plus regular duties. I hope that the council will acknowledge all their hard work and attempt to not add extra burdens for the staff that is already stretched extremely thin. Secondly, I would like to address the future meeting on June 22nd regarding our police department. The Hubbard Police Department has been in place at least 50 years, probably longer, I just don't know my history. I've had many personal experiences with the department over the last 26 years. Some recent examples are when the police department was the first responder when my house was on fire, not the fire department. We also had our neighbor's son have a seizure, and the police were, again, the first responder. So there are many more stories of how important our police department is to many citizens in this city. I hope that at the June 22nd meeting, there will be more information for the citizens to review. I would like to see spreadsheets for both options, keeping the police department and the Marion County options. The letter you presented at the last meeting is informative, but I really would like to see a lot more detail. I'd be willing to volunteer to help the city staff to get any information assembled that Vicki needs. In thinking about the future of our department, I had a thought for you, the council, regarding the whole discussion and planning. I would propose, if you don't make any decisions, that you form a committee comprised of 2 citizens, 2 counselors, and a retired officer or chief of police. It would be imperative that the committee be open to the process of really researching both options to present to the council. I would hope both the citizens and the counselors would agree to the process of sharing and gathering information for the council without bias. I again would be willing to volunteer to record and type any minutes of these committee meetings, so our city recorder would not have to be at yet another meeting. This committee would only be sharing information and compiling data to assist the council. I have a retired police chief friend who would assist in finding a non-biased police representative to be part of that committee. Someone not from around the area, from far-reaching, so it wouldn't be biased. I do hope you will consider some form of research committee prior to making any long-term decisions. Lastly, I do have a question / concern regarding the current model we are using for the police department. I'm concerned about fiscal responsibility and using an administrative acting chief of police when we only have 2 officers. When we had to face this very same situation, we utilized a working interim police chief, meaning he took calls, he rode the cars. I would propose that the council seriously look at an option for a more efficient way of using our budget dollars and staffing. Thank you for your time. Feel free to call me if you have any thoughts, and I have a copy for all of you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Nobody? Okay. Mayor's presentation and/or council presentations.
I went for a ride along with Officer Anderson. Very informative. I actually was able to stay awake the whole time. Even though it was like midnight before we ended. I'm usually fast asleep by then. But very eye-opening. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed just spending time with him and the conversation and everything. And, I wish I could talk about some of the things that he shared with me. Yeah, wow, it was very eye-opening, and I really want to do it again as soon as possible.
That's great.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure your dog likes me.
Anytime, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay. Good? Okay. Staff reports. Finance Director, Ms. Carrie Kurtz.
Okay, so you have my reports. The auditors have begun sending their requests for documents in preparation for the audit. Their contracts for services and their engagement letter is included in the consent agenda. I'm trying to get as much of the prelim stuff done before I leave. So you have a number of resolutions also on the consent agenda. One is amending the compensation ranges for classified employees. This does include the market value increases based on the salary study. These increases were approved by the budget committee. Then you have your typical with the 2012 water and wastewater rate study. I do have an amended resolution for 6/37/2017. It was amended to raise a little more back into the council department. Because the last legal bill was a little higher than we anticipated.
So that pays the 2,200, so that's the 2,200, right? So that pays the current legal bill that we have?
That is, if you remember last month I couldn't pay the bill because we didn't have enough.
Right.
So that includes, the balance of April's and May's.
Okay, and so then what happens when June's comes?
June won't come until July,
And
so
then-
it'll be in the new budget year.
Okay, so this
Well,
will,
2,200 will carry us through.
thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? That's it?
Okay.
Have anything?
Anything for Carrie?
Brett?
No.
Police Department, interim police chief Jerry Adcock.
The only update is on patrol car number 00, actually been working with GMC. It sounds as if they may actually pay for the damage to the vehicle. We had an engine fire, and we should know next week. I need, Chris Anderson's going to be talking to the actual investigator back east through a phone conversation, so to speak. So we should be able to have GMC pay for the damage to the vehicle, which would be great.
Going along with Miss Lee's question, I did have a question. I got a call from Miss Kurtz as she was doing the billing, because she was having some problems going back and forth with the billing, and so she asked me to come in and being the finance director liaison. And so my question is, two questions, I guess. So the billing that we had for last month was billing for 100 hours.
Mhm.
So 2 of those weeks, I believe you were out of the state.
Part of those 2 weeks, yes. Part of it was training in Scottsdale for the body cameras. And then the secondary one was use of force, body cam in another state, I'm drawing a blank.
So the contract reads that even though you're a contract chief, that those are hours that even though you're out of the state, that the city's paying for?
A portion of those that were billed to the city, yes.
Okay, and then for the other 100 hours, are those hours that you're in the office or what?
Taking care of city business, whether it's in the office, out talking with the citizens, the phone calls at 1 o'clock in the morning regarding the police department, all those rolled into that 100 hours.
Okay. And then, so are you giving those hours to, I'm just trying to figure out how this is all, because I was confused about when we were trying to figure out this invoice. Are those hours, on one of the invoices it said that they were gonna be turned in, that you were turning them in, and then another one of the invoices, it was said that they were turned in by Sherry, I think, to contact oh yeah. I thought it said that Sherry was getting the hours, but, so you just turn those hours into Sherry is at the end of the month?
It's a cumulative, I don't count hour for hour when I'm actually here. It's the majority of the day, put 4 hours, so to speak, depending upon how long I'm here.
Okay. That's what I have.
Anything? Brett?
No.
No? No? Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. So when you're at these out-of-town things, you're still available, right? And you respond to emails and phone calls?
Correct.
And that was the other thing that I had, because I think that I don't know that the officers were informed, and so I wasn't sure that they knew who their kind of next in line person was that they were supposed to contact. So is there some sort of
They can,
something in place that where they know who they're supposed to be contacting if you're not available?
yeah, both of them have my business card, which has my cell phone, and I've told them both that they can contact me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, perfect.
Jamie, Public Works.
Yeah, you have a copy of my report. I would like to direct council toward item number 5 of my report. We had a small water leak over on West Place. There was a very elusive water line, trying to locate the line itself. It took us approximately 2.5 days to get to that point. The repair took us probably 10 minutes to repair it, but unfortunately, trying to find the actual water line. Our as-bills really didn't help us a great deal because they're not really correct. They were probably in the 1960s. The as-bills indicated that it was a plastic water line, and that wasn't the case either. It was showing it being in probably another 100 feet from where we found the water line, so we lost a lot of time trying to take care of that problem, so I wanted to point that out to you. And actually, my report's a little incorrect. It actually was a service line, not a water main on that item. Also, I would like to point to council on item number 11. We continue to make progress over, that's the emergency management program, so Melinda continues to work under those components. We have other items that we are continuing to work. We got a lot of stuff on my report here. I don't know if this is what you would like to see, but there's a lot of information here in my report. So I will just go back over here to Revenue Park. We are continuing to make progress on that restroom project. We have, or at least I have approved one change order. The amount of the change order was $400. It was small compared to the project, so what happened is the contractor encountered a major root from the tree that we removed out there close to the foundation of the new building. So I felt compelled to approve that change order. We will also be seeing another change order here coming probably in the next couple of months or next couple of weeks. It's gonna be a little larger than that one. What has happened is that when we put in the contract today, the contractor needs to provide us a temporary service in the cover area during the Hop Festival. We did not realize that the existing control panel was not up to code. So we need to bring that up to code. The contractor really cannot make that connection and keep it active the way it is. So that's gonna be a minor, somewhat of a major expense that we will have to deal with in the future. Other than that, if you have any other questions in reference to the rest of my report, I will be more than happy to answer them.
What is the projected completion date for the restaurant?
I believe it's October 31st.
I just wanted to give you guys props for getting the water park open prior to Memorial Day weekend. Well done, seriously.
Well,
I think you beat a lot of other towns, actually.
Well, that's my goal, always to try to get it done before Memorial Day, the week before, make sure that we get all the loose ends that might come up before Memorial Day.
It takes like a week or two to get that thing up and running, right?
Yeah. Well, we have to go in there with, into the vessel itself, that's confined space entry. We have to have my crew out there with the apparatus, self-line connected to the individual that goes into the confined space. We have to have 2 people up on top, or at least one. We prefer 2 people on top and one doing the work. That's just for safety reasons. So people don't realize that we have, that's just a precaution that we have to, it's mandated by OSHA, so we don't have a lot of choice to do, like to what we do on that scenario.
Do you guys have to like balance the pH in the acidity like a pool
That is
does?
correct. The system's automatically maintaining the pH. We use muriatic acid to control the pH. We use chlorine pellets to keep the chlorine up to a certain level. The device, the equipment that we have is automatically constantly maintaining that level. We also go out there and test the water 3 times a day. Most of the time, I won't say that we do it every time, but we try to do it 3 times a day.
Okay, administrative department, Vicki.
On my report, I don't have anything really to add to it, unless you have questions.
I don't have any.
Nope, I don't have any questions.
Barb?
Thank you, Vicki, for all the hard work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Extra,
Yes.
very appreciated.
Thank you, everybody. You guys are all working really hard. So thanks for all the work you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I get someone to approve the consent agenda with the changes to resolution 637-2017?
So is item L, is that the temp person? The authorized director of administrative to hire the best candidate for the administrators?
No, that would be after, we are able to do interviews for the administrative.
For Lucy's.
Is that how it's always been?
Yes.
Okay.
If it was a department head, then it would come to the council.
Okay.
But if it's the person that's under the department head, then they make the decision.
Gotcha. So I make that motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. So can we pass the check register? Because Barb, we have to wait till next month to do that, correct? Okay.
All right, yes, you can go ahead and approve it.
Oh, we can?
As long as it's 2-0, you can, it's just, the charter requires that the majority vote of those present.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion that we approve the 2017 check registry report.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye. Can we talk about that letter? This is the other business. The letter that we approved last time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And getting that nailed out. Is this the appropriate time to do that?
Sure.
So, how do we get that rolling so that we get this to people before the meeting on the 22nd?
Okay, so I sent out an email, you requested the costs, and I was able to get a quote. Depends on how you want to go about doing it. If you want to send it down there and have them, so the document would be front and back, 2 pages. And if you want to have, yes, graphics, print both sides, printed envelopes, and folding, stuffing, sealing, mailing the paperwork, and then dropping the mailing and paperwork at the post office. That's $455 plus. That doesn't include their postage. So the postage was, in addition, $280 to $320.
Okay. And so they'll essentially do all of the work for us for like under $800, is that right? Okay. Because you guys don't have the bandwidth to do that anyways right now, it sounds like. Right? That would be my, right?
Well, I'm gonna be gone,
Right.
back on, like I mentioned,
Mhm.
so Carrie's in training, so the only person that we really have would be Maddie in the police department. She was out ill today, so I don't know.
Okay. And then the previous letter was pretty, about around the same expense or no?
Well, that was, we didn't use envelopes, so it was just postage, so it was about,
Was it
$450
$4?
or something like that.
Okay.
So just postage.
So we're basically just paying, we would just be paying, on this project, it would just be more, the postage would be more.
Well, it'd be double what we paid last time.
Okay.
The postage is the same, now it's the cost of somebody to process it.
Somebody else processing it.
Yeah, so the postage is,
That sounds like a good idea to me. I don't know how the rest of council feels, but if it frees you guys up and again, you're on vacation and Carrie's in training, and it might be too much for the one remaining person to do. I think you should do it. Any objections?
so since you already had the labels printed, is it easy for you to print them again?
I just have to print one.
You just have to print them. And then what about getting the letter printed? I'm just wondering if it's something that we could get some, I know Miss Lee has volunteered to do something, and I see some other people